Well, congratulations on a roller coaster of a season two. Really kind of all different types of emotions. It ends obviously on this, cliffhanger, this big bombshell. Layla, I mean, what was your kind of reaction when you were sitting there with Marciano? Did you believe that he and Jesse had like kind of this full-blown affair?
I was just shocked, honestly. I feel like I came in with the intentions of kind of figuring out what more happened with Demi and him, and it was completely shifted to Jesse. So I feel like it wasn't even in that moment who I believed. I was just taken back. And honestly, I didn't really know how to react and take in all the information I just like listened to. It was shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Whitney, Miranda, how about you? What was your reaction? Because obviously you weren't there, and you probably when you watched it, what was your initial thoughts?
I went like this.
Yeah. Yeah, very jarring for sure. Unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, she was just on the Vile Files and, she took off her ring. It seems like she and, her husband are kind of trying to figure things out. Do you feel like she's almost like relieved that she won't have to keep this private anymore and it's kind of all out there? And, what's kind of like her mental health space at this moment, Layla?
I think for her, definitely we'll find out what's true and what's not true. I think either which way, it's what's meant to be will be, and what's meant to happen in their marriage will happen. And I think for her mental health, it's hard, and it's hard to have the public's perception of her in this moment and kind of having their feedback, and because the full story hasn't even come out yet. So I think she's hanging in there, but Jesse's really, really tough, and we're all here for her, and we all love her, and we're supporting her.
Definitely. It seems like, obviously the footage at the end confirms that we are going right into season three. I mean, Whitney, did cameras ever not stop rolling, or did you kind of just continuously, keep filming because of after this new information?
You mean for the 20 episodes?
Right. Yes. Okay. So we're continuing to go.
Yes. Yeah. No, we're filming right now.
Hmm.
Okay, you're filming right now, so it's full steam ahead.
Yes.
It's go time, baby.
Yeah.
It's go time, baby. This was really interesting in the podcast. Jesse said to me wanted to pretend to have this affair with Dakota. Were there any other kind of fabricated storylines that maybe, she was trying to push through this, Layla?
No, I think a lot of truth will come out. I think that there's definitely a lot of he said, she said, and I think a lot of girls are just kind of trying to throw people under the bus right now, and it's hard. It's hard to see for sure because I feel like until more comes out, I feel like we all just kind of need to stop with the spreading of the narrative. So it's hard right now for sure.
Yeah. No, Whitney, you and Demi kind of formed this friendship this season or like got your friendship back on track. Do you wish that you had kind of spoken up to her more throughout the course of the season, watching it back? Or are you happy with the way that like your friendship kind of, came back together and that you defended her against Taylor this season?
I think that no, there's definitely things that I didn't agree with what Demi did, and I'll tell that to her face. She already knows that. But I think just like more than anything, just know that everyone is always going through something. There's a reason they're reacting the way that they're reacting. And in this group, what I like to believe that the intent is to not be malicious or to intentionally hurt people. I think it's just it's so much deeper than that. And unfortunately, hurt people hurt people.
Hmm. Miranda, how about you? Because it seemed like you and Demi also were on good terms this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are, there are a handful of times where Demi reacted to things in a certain way that I didn't agree with. And that's something I think we were all pretty vocal with her about. And, it landed to her in some pretty sticky situations. But, you'll see how it plays out. But I think she's, making strides and and trying. So I'm, wishing the best for her and how, the rest of how the aftermath of season two and also going into filming as well now.
Yeah, definitely. Whitney, at the Christmas party, when, you say to Demi that she's an adult, she can leave. Did you regret that in the moment, knowing that she wanted you to be a part of Mom Talk, or you were like, I just want to get back into the group?
Wait, what did I say?
You said, when you said, well, she's an adult, she can leave when it came to Demi saying that, I'm just going to leave mom talk and be out of it. And even though you kind of took her side a lot this season, but in that moment, you're like, well, she can leave. I'm back in the group. Was that kind of like your intention in that?
No, definitely not my intention. I think that you have to like compartmentalize relationships in this group. And like for Demi, she is an adult. Like if she wants to leave and doesn't want to be a part of it anymore, that's like that's going to be her decision. But I don't need to go and follow suit and be like, okay, peace out too. If I wanted to leave, then that has to be my own decision. I'm not going to do it because somebody else has left.
Sure,
Is
definitely.
that, yeah, okay.
Uh, Go ahead. Layla, you did speak out in the comments about how the pregnancy roulette isn't something that you planned. Is there anything else that you kind of wanted to clarify and address when it comes to that moment and what viewers think about that?
That moment was, I didn't think that Demi would react that way. I think I was going into that with, I was late on my period and I wanted to just do the silly game because I saw it on TikTok and I thought it'd be funny. I didn't have a hunch that any of the girls were pregnant. I didn't have any like hunch that Demi would react the way that she did. And I definitely felt really awful in that moment when she did react that way. And it was hard to see because we know how deeply hurt she is by her infertility journey right now and how it affects her really badly. So it was hard to see her react that way for sure.
Definitely. Miranda, what was some of the biggest surprises for you this season? Was it what you expected? Were you like, why did I get myself into this?
Yeah, I think a little bit of everything. I mean, there are for sure moments where I'm like, oh, okay, this is, more than I bargained for. But also at the same time, I think I would say one of the biggest surprises is how genuine some of the friendships I've cultivated are and how close I've gotten with a lot of the girls. I think that, people see so much of the cattiness and the drama online, and I think there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes and while filming, some that makes it, some that doesn't, that is us supporting one another and really just being lighthearted and laughing and having a good time. And I think I was, pleasantly surprised by how much of that also came into play with the experience. And I'm really grateful for that.
Definitely. Well, I can't wait to see how the rest of, what happens in season 3. So thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it and hope you all have a great day.